Look at that enormous helicopter. It's a really big one, isn't it?
Hello.
Hello. So today we're going to be doing a film about what's in my pilot bag because my old pilot bag's been fixed and we've got to put everything back in it. All right, everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, my latest video, and I'd like to give a special welcome to all my subscribers because as of today, just about to pass 150 subscribers, which is more than I really expected when I just started uploading my flying videos without any real expectations. So thank you very much to everyone who's become a subscriber, much appreciated. In this video, so this is my pilot bag. This is the bag I bought 10 years ago. So I bought this Dunhill bag because I love the way it's got two separate zippered compartments, plus this quick and easy center compartment with a magnet connector there. So it just naturally closes itself there. And because it's Dunhill, it's very well made. I got it at a crazy discount. I think it was 600 quid reduced to 200 quid when I got it. And recently, the reason it's empty is because after 10 years of usage, this strap connector came loose. So I took it to Timpson's, amazing place, Timpson's, and they repaired this for 10 quid with a new piece of leather so that my shoulder strap works. And it's time to put my stuff back in. So in this bag, this is normally meant to be my survival kit bag. That's my iPad, which I just use for Sky Demon, and that's not really, I use that for other things as well, but that is an important part of my flying kit, and that does go in there. And that's an iPad mini 5th generation, which I think is the ideal size for flying with. And I've got a suction cup mounter in the cockpit, and it works just perfectly. I always carry a baseball cap in my bag because sometimes, especially if you haven't got sunglasses handy, it's a really great way of keeping the sun out of your eyes without having to use the plane's visors. In my survival bag, very important, loo roll. You never know when you're going to get caught short, so I always carry one of those. But that's not in my pilot bag. That stays in the plane and in my survival bag. Now, probably one of the most important things, or most interesting things, is my handheld radio. So this is an Icon IC-A25NE. And for any of you who are thinking about looking to buy a handheld radio, you will find out there's an overwhelming array of choice of handheld radios. So one of the things I love about this the most, and probably the clincher why I bought it, is that it automatically connects up with Bluetooth to my Bose Pilot headset, which means in an emergency, if I need to use this, all I've got to do is switch it on and it will connect up to my headset. It was a lot of money. Can't remember exactly now, but sort of £400 odd, 450 quid odd. Don't make the mistake I made of buying the one that doesn't have the rechargeable battery included. I thought I was saving money, found somewhere cheap, but it just came without a battery pack, and it came with a cigarette lighter adapter as the way to power it, which is obviously no good. I find this hugely useful for having it on an airfield to get situational awareness before and during a flight. It means that before you power up your aircraft, you've already got good situational awareness of what's happening in the circuit at the airfield that you're at. So that is one of my most important things. It's got a huge number of functions. There are loads of videos about this device. But I just thought, in the event of an emergency, I would kick myself for saving a few quid or 100 quid here to go for the cheaper version to save money. I thought to myself, in the event I ever need to use this in anger, I would be very happy to have got the top of the range one with the Bluetooth. So that was behind my decision to buy that. I've got my Pooley's flight computer. I got this because I started studying for my commercial pilot's license and need one of these. So one of the other items that was a lot of money and continues to cost me money on a monthly basis is my Garmin InReach. It's an InReach Mini. There are much bigger, more expensive ones of this to buy, but in the end, the main reason for this one is just to pull up that emergency SOS button. Press that button underneath, just transmit the SOS signal. Very clever piece of kit. It allows your loved ones to track you when you're out flying around. I don't need this much in the UK, but in Scotland, there's some wilderness where you might end up getting stuck. But just as a force of habit, and because I'm planning to do a lot more wilderness flying, especially in the States and in Norway, I've now made it a habit to always clip this to my belt when I'm flying. So if I have to get out of the airplane in a hurry, it comes out with me. Okay, so that's my Garmin InReach Mini. Again, 400 odd quid, a lot of money, plus the, I think, £12.50 a month for the subscription, which gives you a certain number of messages you can send. You can send text messages and stuff from this. There are lots of videos about how this works. I won't go into too much detail, but that is my personal locator beacon that is supposed to work anywhere on the globe. These are black. This is a torn up towel. Oily rags. Well, they're not oily, they're actually very clean at the moment. So these can be used for cleaning the glass. They can be used for mopping mess. But just always handy to have rags. Although they tend to live in my survival bag. So what I do keep, now these were an amazing find. Rock Bros. So these are for very cold mornings when I'm flying. They're completely waterproof, and despite being quite thin, so I've got a good feel through them, they're really surprisingly warm. So I think they're about sort of 30 quid, so it's not too bad. But on cold mornings flying, I find these absolutely amazing. So that's gloves, handheld radio, Garmin InReach. Ah yes, my Leatherman, my multi-tool. Very useful piece of kit this is. It's probably one of the most famous and well-made tools. They're not cheap. This was actually a gift from my sister, about 120 quid, I think. You can strap this to your belt if you want, so it's always on you. But there's got an absolute array of tools on there, built like it's carved out of solid iron. It's incredibly strong. Great blades for sawing with. Good safety to stop you closing it shut by mistake. It's even got scissors. It's got flathead and Phillips screwdriver on there, which you can just take out and turn around. So just a handy bit of everything tool. Spare batteries. I always carry spare batteries in my flight bag. Those are mainly for my Bose headsets. I've now got 2 Bose headsets in the plane. Normally, they give you a bit of advance notice before the battery starts to go. They start to just, you hear it cutting out temporarily. But most recently, they actually failed on me just as I was rotating on climb out from Shobden Airfield. And as anyone who's experienced this knows,
that made me laugh.
yeah, so batteries. Always have a pack of batteries. In fact, I think I have 2 packs in here. Let's see if I can find the other ones. A mini Leatherman, just handy. I have that in the cockpit. I actually normally have that. No, I've got another one in the cockpit of these. This is a separate one for my pilot bag for if I'm flying a different plane. So that one lives in the outside there. Garmin InReach Mini. Yeah, there's that. I don't like carrying much paperwork in my pilot bag, but again, the InReach Mini has so many different functions on it that if I was in a survival situation, having the little handbook to tell me everything would be very handy. So that also goes in my pilot bag. Ah, yes. This is a very cool thing. This is my digital air compressor, pumping up the tires. Really, really speeds it up. You select your required PSI, connect that on, and it just pumps up and stops when it gets to the right one. This device, which cost me about 30 quid, has massively reduced the amount of time I spend faffing with tire pressures on the plane. And in fact, to be completely honest, I check the tire pressures more often now because this makes it so much easier. I check it more often than I did. So that always comes with me. And it charges up off a USB. Tends to charge in the car. Right, this is a power pack. Lots of different connectors. So USB, USB-C, and mini USB connectors, and that will recharge an iPhone about 4 or 5 times. It can even charge up your iPad. It can charge up your MacBook, actually, if you've got the USB-C connector on there. So I keep that part. That's just an extra backup power source, which again I always keep in my flight bag. Survival knife, although that's going to stay in the survival bag and not in the pilot's bag. Pretty mean looking piece of kit that I've never used yet. Energy bars. Cockpit companion. always thought this would be, I've never actually had to use it in 10 years, but I've always thought that actually just some of the most common things that'd be handy to look up would be handy to have in the cockpit. So I carry this with me. Next up, pilot logbook, which has also got my licenses inside. So license, medical, my FAA license, and my full logbook. A nice chunky thing, which I carry in my pilot bag at all times. My knee board, where I print out plogs and I print out approach charts, have it strapped to my knee when I'm flying. That just goes in the middle. My paper chart, which I have to say I hardly ever use now because I just use Sky Demon and I print out my plogs. And if I'm on a longer trip, I'll also actually print out, I'll even print out the chart. So I've got a hard copy of the Sky Demon printout in there as well. Sky Echo. ADS-B in and out gives me the position of any other aircraft that are transmitting ADS-B out on my Sky Demon moving map, which is amazing. It also provides me GPS. It has got a battery on it. The battery's not great, but I always have it powered up. This is another device that I might need to charge up from that backup power source one day. When this works, it's great. It does have outages sometimes in flight, and you've actually got to restart it, switch it off, switch it back on again, which is frustrating, but it's not too often. Torch. New batteries required. Hey, look, this torch here is clever because it's got no batteries. It's a wind-up torch.
Ooh.
This is my new total fuel card for when I'm in France, or anywhere that has those. This is obviously a fuel tester. I bought this from Blackbush Aviation when I didn't have one day when I was at Blackbush Airport and I needed one. And the first time I used it, this top bit just bent, literally. I mean, I've used these hundreds of times, never bent one before. And I went to put it in and it just bent. Like this stick is just soft. I went back in and said, hey, this isn't really good enough. And they wouldn't give me my money back. They wouldn't take it back. Who knows what this is? Do you know what this is? This is a backup GPS receiver. And this was 70 or 80 quid. But I have had to use this several times when my GPS from the Sky Echo has failed or on a mobile device has failed. And I'm very, very glad I bought it. Torch. Now this is one I got, but it wasn't a red lens, so I actually coloured the lens red with a pen, but it's kind of worn off a bit. But that I carry in my bag. Always could never have enough spare sunglasses, so just a crappy pair, but you never know when you need them. High-vis vest. So I like having a separate high-vis vest in my pilot bag as well as the one I've got in the plane, so that A, I've got two in case I need two, but secondly, if I'm ever flying a different plane, I've got one with me. It's one of those things that's really annoying when you don't have one. That was a very quick and dirty what's in my pilot bag. Zip it up. Thanks for watching, guys. Please tell me what you think I've missed out in my pilot bag that I should be carrying. I'm sure there is stuff. And ask any questions about the stuff that I have got that you're surprised is in there. Till next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.